Hello, welcome to the Pedestal Life Society. My name is Brill, and today I want to talk about how to create boundaries to not have sex before marriage. Before we get started, I kind of want to give you a lead in to let him know that there's not going to be any sex before marriage. You can say something along the lines of, I am not comfortable having sex with a man that isn't my husband. I'm waiting on my husband for marriage because I want to reveal myself in a way that is going to be appropriate for a husband. So that is your lead in that you can utilize in setting the tone for letting a man know that you're not going to have sex before marriage. Before you get into boundaries, you do have to create standards. You have to create a standard in yourself that you're not willing to have sex with a man unless he's offering the level of commitment that you desire. So I want to give you some tips and the things that I utilized while I was dating to create these boundaries for no sex before marriage. The first thing is go on public dates. You remember the saying, three's a crowd? That doesn't apply here. You want a crowd. You want public dates, public places where you all can get to know each other. And you want public places where he's not going to feel as comfortable to get very handsy or try to grope you, or that you don't have to fight him off. He won't feel like he's so comfortable that he can take it to that next level. Because when women are alone with men and you decide to go to his house or go to your home and you're there with a man, they think that you're comfortable enough to actually be open to being groped or some form of intimacy. So you want to make sure that all dates are public dates until he is giving you, he's earned that trust and intimacy from you, that you know that he's on the same page as you, that he recognizes that you're not into having sex before marriage. So he's not going to push the envelope. He's not going to do anything weird to get you to have sex before marriage. So the first thing, always go on public dates. Three isn't a crowd when it comes to dating, and you're creating these boundaries to no sex before marriage. The second thing is be very careful with intimacy. Don't let a man get too comfortable too fast. This is reason why even when you first meet him, you don't want to go in hugging, kissing, or eliminating the space between you and him. You kind of want to get that space, but you don't want it to be awkward or angst or feel full of fear. You just want it to be very comfortable. You give him distance because he has to be able to earn intimacy. He has to be able to earn your trust. And if you allow him to come in with kissing on you or hugging on you or groping on you or touching you, then he's going to get very comfortable too fast. And he's going to think that he's earned your trust enough to ask or require intimacy from you or cross those boundaries that you're not willing to cross. So you want to be comfortable about letting him, you don't want to be as comfortable letting him in your space. You want to give it time to get to know him and for him to earn your trust and for him to earn your respect and for you to get to know him as a man before you even let him get to the level of hugging you. So, yes, you're supposed to hold back hugging, kissing, groping, or any form of intimacy with a man that you do not know, especially if you want to create this boundary of no sex before marriage. Because when men feel that they're comfortable or you're comfortable with them, they want to take leeway and they want to touch you because men are very weak to us. When it comes to a man, they have a weakness when it comes to women. And since they have that weakness when it comes to women, you don't want to encourage him to feel that he can grope you or touch you in an intimate way, or that he can kiss you, or he can be all up in your space. You want to keep that decent space between you and him. Not enough space where it looks ridiculous, where you're like, he's all the way over here and you're all the way over here. But you want to have that space between you and him so he doesn't feel that you're so comfortable with him. Anytime a man feels that you are comfortable, he's going to ask for more or seek out more from you because you're giving him through your body language and through your energy that you may be open to having sex or to some form of intimacy. And intimacy should be looked at as though he has to earn it. So, no kissing, no hugging, no groping, no allowing him to be in your space and all up in your face. You want to keep that space between you and him in the very beginning. And the very last one is very old fashioned, but it works every single time. No longer are you going to have dates during the hours of evening or night date. No evening or night dates. Now you're going to be the woman who's going to be going on brunches, lunches, and afternoon dates. Afternoon dates are between the hours of 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. And so those are the hours that you're going to go on dates now, because that's going to help create that boundary of no sex. For some reason, they've looked at it when it comes to nighttime hours, people kind of loosen their morals. Things become morally gray at nighttime. That is the reason why a lot of the businesses that are very upstanding, they tend to close at earlier times because they know what happens with humans when it becomes nighttime. There's something called the mind at midnight, where at nighttime it's though that no one's going to see me, no one's going to know, so let me go and do things I normally wouldn't do. And so you want to be aware that that is a part of us as humans. And since nighttime that tends to happen, people become morally gray and they tend to do things that they feel like they normally wouldn't do, or that they're not going to get caught or people won't see. And so that's the reason why it's so much better to have dates during lunches, brunches, or afternoon dates instead of having these evenings and night dates. Now you're going to transition over to, now we're going to have lunch dates. Now we're going to have brunches. Now we're going to have dates between the 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. And we won't be having anything later, because we understand that people tend to change and they're different at nighttime hours. And so we're going to keep to that. And that's going to help create those boundaries to not have sex before marriage. Remember, the standards are what people are supposed to reach to. The boundaries are the lines in the sand. So you want to make sure that you're creating these standards for yourself, but then you also have these energetic boundaries that you've created that you don't have to let him know. The good thing about boundaries, you don't have to let him know. You don't have to let him know that that this boundary is in place because we're never going to have sex. You don't have to let everything be known to him, but the boundaries that you create for yourself, you just have to implement them. You just have to uphold them. You just have to make sure that you engage and entertain men that are going to be, they're going to acquiesce to the boundaries, versus a man that is always pushing for more and more and more, and he doesn't know you. So if you're intent on making sure that there is no sex before marriage, then you want to make sure that these energetic boundaries that you've created, that he isn't fighting you at every turn, that he's going to get on board. He's going to acquiesce to the boundaries because he has that high level of interest in you. He's not going to want to push for more. But these are boundaries that I have found to help myself when I was dating. And then also it helps my clients to be able to keep that no sex rule before marriage and create these boundaries that men respect, because they're going to respect these boundaries. Men that are going to want to date you with no sex, they're going to respect the boundaries that you implement. They're going to admire you because you have the guts to uphold these boundaries and require that they uphold those boundaries also. So that is all I have for how to create boundaries to no sex before marriage. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.